7:06. This is, I have to look at the minutes to keep the day straight. It is Thursday, March 9th, and this is the Mendon Conservation Commission. We have 4 members of the quorum, and we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Carl Hummel. I'm the chair.
Susan Cahalan, co-chair.
Tim Icardi, member.
Mike Mandelier, member.
Okay, great. We have some public hearings starting at 7:15. We can conduct some other business before then. Yes, let's get those things signed and handed out. So what are these, the order of conditions for?
Lindsay asked me to print out for,
73 and 75 Blackstone?
yeah.
Okay, is there someone here? I must have left my pen. You think you printed out the,
Need a pen?
I printed out 375.
Well,
You print over there?
no, I have no idea how to do that.
Isn't he bringing some anyway?
Is there someone here for 7375 Blackstone to do that? Okay, well, let's sign the one you have. And then you can let him know what's going on. And here I deliberately didn't print it out myself.
What's the problem?
She's got two of the same one instead of one for each.
Oh, okay. Well, can't you,
We can sign both.
can you print
I'll try to.
Oh, no.
I've never been able to hook.
Oh, I'm on their Wi-Fi, I think.
All right, another thing that we can get done probably in 5 minutes is James O'Connell here from 88 Providence Street.
In 10 miles, take exit 39 onto I-90 in Massachusetts.
Well, now we know where you are.
Mute Mike.
Okay.
Let's see. I usually can get on the internet.
Oh, grab it if you print it, right?
Okay, could I get a survey for what people who are here in the audience for, which projects?
Cape Road?
23 Cape Road.
Yep,
35 Taft Ave.
okay,
106 Millville.
yep. And people on the call, could you say what you're here for?
116 Uxbridge Road.
Yep,
23 Cape Road.
okay. And do we have anyone here for 2 Nipmuc Road?
2 Nipmuc?
Okay. Peter's not here, so I can't ask whether we're solvent or not.
37 Taft Ave is also present.
Okay,
Whether we're a solvent or not?
that's my way of joking.
Oh.
Okay. Something I can bring up and go over quickly. There was a question later on in the meeting when we get to discussing the notice of intent open hearing for 23 Cape Road. There will be a continuance of that because earlier today we got an email from the applicant asking for a continuance. The same situation occurred at the planning board on Tuesday evening, and it seemed to be a lack of clarity as to what exactly was going on and whether that was part of the open meeting law or not. So here's my summary of it based on I'm not a lawyer, this is just my experience with how it works. In order to get on the agenda, there has to be a notification that there's going to be something, and that gets posted usually Monday to meet the 48-hour notification. Once there is an item on the agenda, then it is possible for the committee, Conservation Commission in this case, planning board, Tuesday night, we are able to take any action relating to that matter. The matter that is happening both tonight and Tuesday night planning board is that there is no discussion needed between the committee and the applicant on this matter. However, they wish to continue this to a future meeting when we would have something to discuss. We've been doing this all along for a number of other projects in town where the applicant is busy redesigning something, or it takes the engineers longer to come up with the revised set of plans. The two items that are still going to be on the table for the 30, well, I'll get to that when we get to that part of the meeting. So is there any questions from the audience or on the Zoom call, Teams call, that we might be able to discuss for the next 3 minutes? Okay, this is rare. Usually we're waiting for someone to show up and.
Do we have minutes?
Oh, you're right, we do. I don't have meetings from February 9th. I do have them from February 23rd, which is a typo on there.
Oh, I see.
So I did send those out, but I didn't print them out. So we're able to look at them online.
Yeah, they look.
Okay. In that case, I'll entertain a motion to accept the meetings from the 23rd.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Yeah, no, you second. All in favor?
Aye.
Mike, you approve the minutes?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. I will see about getting that posted to the website, and then people will be able to look at it online.
So Carl, did I hear you right? Are we continuing 23 Cape Road?
Well,
Or are we hearing it?
give me another minute, and then we'll open that public hearing and get rid of it in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then we can go through the other ones that we
You're
have
not
people
finding
here.
the printer, but I am on the Wi-Fi.
Okay, well, progress.
Did you request to continue, Abe?
No. This is the Blue Water project, not what Abe is here for. Abe is here for the notice of the one on the second page, the notice of violation.
No sneaking up those stairs.
Oh, shit.
Nope.
Okay. Could you sign in, please? All right, close enough to 7:15. I will do the one that we are continuing first, 23 Cape Road, continuance of discussion of notice of intent submitted on behalf of, for the one-story warehouse at 23 Cape Road. This morning, we received an email from the applicant asking that it be deferred. On Tuesday, they sent a detailed response from Dupret Engineering to the questions that we asked them at our last one. The committee and the public will have an opportunity to review that. And so we're not talking about that tonight. In addition, Susan is eventually going to be submitting a letter to Blue Water asking about the impact of diesel particulate air pollution kind of stuff on the wetlands. There's been some.
Almost there. See all those texts?
Yep. So that will be getting sent off to Blue Water, and they will be responding to that as well. And finally, they are getting continued by the Board of Health for at least a month. And so we will almost certainly wait to not complete their application before us until they get through planning board first. So given that, I will entertain a motion to continue 23 Cape Road for 2 weeks.
I'll make the motion to continue.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Great, passes unanimously. All right. I'll go through in order. Ready for 35 Taft Avenue? Notice of intent submitted on behalf of Gregory Buckingham of Buckingham Architectural Design for work associated with an existing single-family dwelling reconstruction and addition. BEP number 218-0841.
Upside down. Do you have copies of the latest plans, or would you like to borrow this one?
Nope, let me do the screen share,
Okay.
if I can get to it. Just call it.
It's on up two. I think it's, is it that one? Right down one more. 35 Taft Concom meeting. Right there.
Unfortunately, I can't get to the right thing. But is this what you wanted to talk about right now?
Okay.
Scroll
Okay.
up.
And then I believe it's going to
Scroll
be,
This is
if you scroll down, you'll find the latest plan. A couple more.
Next one down. Right there.
Okay, let me send that. There. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, for the record, my name is Mike Hassett. I'm here from Gary and Hanlon, representing the applicant for 35 Taft Ave. He went over the project with you guys a couple weeks ago. And my understanding was there's some feedback that you're looking for some roof recharge and some stormwater management for the driveway, the existing driveway. So what we proposed is we're proposing a Cultec C100 chamber. That's going to be located underneath the patio at the rear of the house. And that's going to have all the downspouts from the house routed to it. That was sized to recharge the first half inch of rainfall. And then there are gutter overflows that are proposed that for larger storm events would, discharge to the ground, and it would follow the topography down to the pond. And in addition to that, on the north side of the house, we are proposing a crushed stone swale. And that is designed to capture and route runoff from the existing concrete driveway around the house and down to the pond, while providing a little bit of sediment removal via the crushed stone and recharge, given it's a 1 foot deep crushed stone swale that would recharge rain from smaller storm events. And there's details and calculations that were provided and submitted along with everything, as well as the stormwater HydroCAD printout verifying the chamber volume and details from the manufacturer for the Cultec model. And it would be installed according to those details. Do you have anything you'd like to add, or I turn it over to the commission to see if that's adequately addressed your concerns?
I'm familiar with them.
Oh. They're looking at the details.
Sure.
There's the, they kind of,
So that that catch basin detail was from that was the thing that Bob Duff sent you that we asked you to remove. So that was from a different design that inadvertently was left in the submittal package.
How many chambers are going under the patio?
Just one.
Just one?
The drawings are at 10 scale, so it looks like a rather large house, but it's only
Oh, one.
about 1,300 square feet of roof area that's being proposed.
It's a septic.
Yeah, proposed right here.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the recharge chambers.
Right there, culture chamber. It's going, oh, it's on the lake.
So the chambers for the drainage are going, the chamber is going under the patio?
Yes,
And how far away from the septic system is that?
about 35 feet. And the Title V setback for dry wells is 20 feet.
What's the required distance from those to the foundation?
Um,
Is it 20?
For the chambers,
Yeah.
ordinarily, I think it's 10 feet to a basement. But this would be located below the slab grade.
So they're raising the house way up.
Yeah, so the way the basement is configured, and this is something to do with satisfying Board of Health requirements, is it's only half the house is going to have a basement,
Right.
and it's not going to be like a typical basement. It's, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's primarily storage area for, like a jet ski or other toys for the pond. And so there's not going to be an interior staircase in there. It's just going to be kind of like a garage bay door that opens up in the back.
Basically like a shed, so that we don't have to build a separate shed structure on the property. We're just putting it under the house, yeah.
This internet here is really slow.
What's the top
Up
of
there.
that? Can I see that? Oh, this one here. Let me see that.
I think this is proposed, I think. This is where I'm pulling it out.
Mike, do you have any questions?
Foundation.
Nope, I'm good.
And while he's reviewing that, I did want to note that we submitted a request for a certificate of compliance. It was our understanding that there was an open order from when the septic system was constructed. And so we've noticed that as part of our research, and so we want to close that out so that we don't end up with two orders active on the site. Well, one's expired, but
You have the form already?
it's already submitted, yes.
Have it? We have it.
SharePoint site, we can get the URL. It's only to the town. Yeah, that's the wrong one. I need to turn. For town departments, maybe I can get there.
171 conservation. So what file?
No, wait, maybe I can.
Should be in 35 Taft, right?
See,
Yeah, that's what we were just looking at.
Oh, but it was an email from him, from G&H.
Oh, it was an email?
It was an email from G&H on
No, townofmendon.sharepoint.com, townhall/forums.
Oh, I need it.
No.
It's .aspx.
Oh, forums. I thought you said forums.
No.
So sorry.
Townofmendon.sharepoint.
No, it says just town. Oh, yeah, town percentage 20, Hall. Yep.
Sorry.
That's just sudden.
Icon activity. It's not.
Well, we can move forward and vote
Yeah.
on it. We
Yeah,
can
well,
produce it.
I just won't be able to get the documents that I was hoping to be able to present. Fine, I'll pick it up with Lonnie.
When was the septic system completed?
Yeah, the expired order was for the construction of the septic system. Well, in addition, that was different than the one from, and a pool and patio that I think was pretty extensively in the no disturb. And so, to my knowledge, the only thing that ever was constructed with a septic system. And maybe the driveway was constructed around that time, but the site is completely stabilized
Yeah,
at
I
this
see.
point.
I see.
Share. Okay. Back to the other one. Go back.
To ever get to
Go
the
back
normal
to the
site.
previous page. Keep going.
So,
Yeah, now go to town departments. And, yeah, that one.
internet's slow.
171 conservation.
Yeah. Internet's working slow here.
I know this today's
Agenda files.
right. And I'll hit the one, get into the one for
35 tab.
This is it's just
Oh, yeah, so the first is the
Existing.
conditions, yes.
okay.
Is this the form? Is it attached? Requesting certificate.
So,
Yeah, this
What-
is,
did you nail the Concom your certificate of compliance?
I think,
The
I
application
think,
for compliance.
I think that was submitted, because there was a fee associated with it
Oh,
of
okay.
$15.
Okay.
Close it.
If it somehow got lost, we could provide it electronically tomorrow morning.
Not something sight unseen. So is
Well,
this
it's,
something?
it's,
it's the
we have the
as-built.
plan from existing. We were just.
Yeah, it's built as on.
Yeah.
Is it going to be next week's in the meeting in 2 weeks?
When would you be issuing the order of conditions, should you decide to?
The
If that's okay with
sign
you,
off.
that's okay with us.
Yeah. As you said, it's expired.
It's all vegetated. It's all finished area. It's been done a long
Yeah,
time.
there's
So,
pictures.
right.
So the motion would be to approve the plan.
With the added infiltration driveway and the downspouts. So I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, it's been seconded. Discussion. Right, all in favor?
Aye, Tim?
Aye.
Thank you. Passes unanimously. All right, thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see about,
And then if you need anything on that certificate, just send me an email or Bob an email.
Yep.
And we'll get you anything that might have gotten lost in translation.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, going on to the next one. 106 Millville. Continuation of discussion of the enforcement order for 106 Millville. So, yeah,
Yeah, do we have,
He emailed some, or an update. Hold on.
bring that up, I'll
Yep.
read it. Just a search. I'll let you do it because you.
Wait, that's not, Millville, right?
106 Millville.
Brought up the wrong search.
yeah, 116.
Just click on inbox and just try scrolling down. Because it came in today.
It was today? Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Oh, Tom Selch. Okay.
Yep,
Here we
Tom
go.
Schultz. All right, so go.
Attach, please.
So Tom Schultz, sorry about that. Wetland scientist from Goddard Consulting sent an email in saying, attached, please find the diagrams where we placing the fill material, a stockpile diagram, and silt fence diagram. We walked the site with any interested abutters last week and confirmed that they were installed properly around the limit of work. We are currently on track to hit the deadline for soil removal as well. I have also attached the specifications for the Curlex erosion control blankets that we'll be placing over top the stock. The erosion control blankets will be pinned down each day to prevent any storm event from blowing the blanket off the pile. The blanket can be inspected after major storm events to confirm the blanket and siltation barrier is still in place. He's not able to attend because they have a conflict, and we can pull up the.
I have forms that he sent you.
Okay, sure. Bring them on up.
I have the electronic.
Were you present on the walk?
Yes, I was present. on
Okay,
that,
good.
And Roger was as well.
Were you satisfied?
I was wondering if, I just have a few questions.
Sure.
That's all of it.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
There are two documents that were sent. Specification for the building.
Yep.
Yep.
It states that will not be any topsoil, seeding. That's what we have, because Scott told us on the walkthrough that the product lasts about 6 months.
So after the excavation, is that what this, after they bring it down to where they're going to bring it down to and they stabilize it with the Curlex?
Yes.
Yeah, they're saying no topsoil, feeding fertilizer included in the cells.
No seed.
In the
Yeah.
specification.
Okay.
And our concern is that it lasts for 6 months and what's going to happen after that.
So the Acrylics covering has a life expectancy of 6 months, or?
Yes, it's biodegradable.
Okay. At the previous meeting, we did get a commitment from the lawyer for the property owner that they would be coming back to us within 90 days, which is within that 6-month period. And at that time, to enforcement, see what the next steps they would be doing. It may be that if they want to continue to stockpile it there, they would put another cover on it, or they would come up with some other plan for managing the stockpile. even though it is farm commercial, zone commercial, they still have to make sure that any doing doesn't back adjacent to.
Mendon has a right to agree with. As far as I know, looking at the map, it's zoned for residential. And originally it was a hobby farm. Accurate? Is it-
Well, I think it's based on amount of area that somebody has for the farm, to farm. I think it's 2.5 acres.
Because it's.
Right. Right. But they're occupying both, right?
No, wait, it's not occupied.
Yeah, so one of them is a non-conforming property. So if it's non-conforming and they own the adjacent one, they pretty much merge by law. So it is really, if it's owned by the same person and that the one on the right with the house is non-conforming, so it should merge. The assessor may have taken the line away. I'm not really sure what the assessor's map means.
Regardless of the hobby farm, it still has to comply with wetlands protection act. Activities taken. Back buffer. So, for example, take a big land, dirt, so I guess Bob's. Any other questions that you have on this one?
So Carl, the material that they're taking, that they're moving,
Yeah.
what are they doing with it after?
We don't know that.
Oh, okay. I was at the meeting last time, but I couldn't really hear them.
Well,
That hasn't been really.
yeah, what the attorney for the owner said is that within 90 days, they would tell us what their plans are for what would be going in stockpile A.
Okay.
And yes, as he was saying, they could keep the dirt there indefinitely. We want to make sure that if they're keeping the dirt, it's going to stay there in the pile and not run off strong slope. Any other questions?
There's smoke stream feeds on which feeds. So is that Steve?
Okay.
No, they haven't. They haven't started.
Established last meeting. This one discussions. That Pardon?
May I come up to the?
Oh, sure.
On walkthrough, this is on the edge of our property. They took the fence down here,
Okay.
and they're coming from this tile through here and through the fence.
Okay, so they do have a plan for that.
Right, and it's
The thing about this wide, yes.
not enough.
Yeah, that's what Peter was saying. You could take an awful lot of tricks
Right.
back and forth.
Well, come before us before they start that, then, right? The second one.
I will send an email confirming that they will not do anything in the southern stockpile in the next 2 weeks. So
No, we're happy that we're making progress. We just have concerns about the stockpile of hay.
Okay.
The silt fence is in place and then the
Yep. Okay. All right, any other discussion on this? Okay. Thank you for coming in and having a conversation with us.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to continue 106 Millville for 2 weeks. Needs to get first in first.
Oh, first.
I'll second that.
So Susan.
Thank you.
We'll switch the orders. All right. I heard there was someone here from 116 Uxbridge. Is that someone online?
Yes, 116 Uxbridge.
Yeah, it's George's.
Do you have
Georgia Surf and Turf.
Do you have a DEP number yet?
We do have a DEP number.
Do you know what it is? 218-something?
218-0842.
0842.
Okay, thank you. And
So we continued this, or did we continue because he didn't have an order number?
no, well, that was one thing. The other one is we had some questions about first, if they would do the work during the winter time, they would need to have a parallel septic system. Second one, if they were going to, there was a conversation about some of the stone walls and
Carl, it's kind of hard to hear you. All I can hear is the car driving.
yeah, let me,
It's in kind of in the foreground. I know he's.
oh, there he goes. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. So do you have is there something that you want to share a screen with?
Yeah,
Since I'm having trouble doing it with this particular login.
So they still, we're wondering when he wants to start, right?
Well, they want to get the permit and then they'd sometime in the next 3 years, they would actually do the work.
Oh.
They're
Yeah.
very proactive.
it was originally brought to us as a situation where they thought they needed it done immediately, and then they had a Title V inspector go out and actually take a look at it, and they said that it requires a few fixes. And
Because it's
to my knowledge, they did provide the fixes, and they're going to record those, and we'll pass that along to the Board of Health. The Board of Health still hasn't had a meeting on it, so it hasn't even been entertained yet by the Board of Health as of today either.
Yes, and the Board of Health is not meeting in 2 weeks, so it would be at least a month.
Yes, that's correct.
My proposal would be to continue this indefinitely until such time as you come back with us having determined what the Board of Health wants you to do. Does that make sense?
That would make sense to me.
Okay.
I know
All right.
we did have a site plan or a site walk last Wednesday at 10. Carl, did you get my email and voicemail?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on attending it. I thought
Okay.
Peter and Bob were planning on going, and they're not here tonight to ask whether they did it or not.
Okay. Well, if they want to come out at any point, just let us know, and we're more than happy to go meet with them out there.
Okay. All right, so the motion would be to postpone this indefinitely until such time as the applicant comes back and asks for us to review. Someone like to make that motion for me?
I'll make the motion to continue.
Is there a second? This one's Tim. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye, Tim.
Hi, Sue.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. And that concludes the public hearings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. All right.
So 23 Cape Road.
Yes, we'll now go to 23 Cape Road, notice of violation. We
Okay.
sent out a letter with owner Abe. How do you pronounce your last name?
Jrej,
Jrej.
J-R-E-I-J.
Yep.
Too
All
many
right.
keys.
My understanding is that you would be able to give us some history on what has happened since 2021 when we originally had you do work.
Actually, 2020.
2020, okay.
Yes. I was overseas, and somebody told me by phone, my secretary, that they said there is silts went into the wetland. The neighbors, they were talking. It wasn't with the board or anything. So at that time, I called Jamie. He owned a company. It's Olympia, I think, from Mendon or Bellingham line. And I told him, please, because I know he does this work, to go and check it out. A couple of weeks later, I came. He put some crushed stones where he thought the water rushing from down the street, going in, and that's it. Then I think
I was out there.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's what,
Yeah,
that's
we
what,
got,
this is-
we got a
this
phone
is in
call.
January.
that's when the car destroying riprap was put across every 20 feet or so going down the slope.
No, we put the 3 to 6 inches and smaller stone all around the catch basin.
Oh, okay, so that was.
And they were all
work around the castle.
closed anyway, but, you know, we put it in, and it was, for that time, was okay. Maybe a month and a half later, I asked Damon, this was around probably February,
Yeah, it
I
was-
asked Damon Tino to come and check out and see if there is more thing we can do. So he came, he started looking, he said, Abe, you gotta hydro seed all this area, which is about, I don't know, 4 acres, 5 acres. And maybe you put another silt fence up higher and put more stones in near the catch basin and going down the hill. And if you go there, you can see probably more than 50 trucks. And, you know, he checked everything and he said, it's okay. Then I get a letter from you guys
Right, that we sent out
on
last week.
April 2021.
Okay, back then.
So, and this is all the receipt, not all the receipt, this is what I found because I get this letter on Monday and I was out of town on Tuesday. So I grabbed from Gimbal all the crushed stones I get at that time, and Olympia and the company Transit Hydro Seeding, that they did the work, they charged per square feet. And so I came to the meeting, and there was different people. Okay. I think you were not here. She wasn't here. And I think one guy was sitting there. I think his name is Peter.
Yeah.
And another guy with a beard. Anyway, and I told them what I did. And they had a lot of questions. And I said, if you want, you can go there between every day, except Sunday, between 8 to 6. And you can come and tell me how do you like the work. At that time, everybody told me you did a great job. What I said, I want to make sure I don't deal with this ever again. So they said, put more silt fence. There was like on top of the road, another area where I put a lot of stones, like 2 feet deep. So all the water filter, clean. And then in August or before that, July, okay, Blue Water, they hire a conservation guy, okay, and they had another guy they were paying from the town to go and make sure everything is
Consultant.
okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, he was a
I think
consultant.
it's a Chinese company. That's what they were saying. I
Oh, it
heard
was,
Chinese.
yeah, it was Duchesne.
Anyway, so
Oh, that's right.
So he went, the guy from Worcester, I really don't remember his name, and he was checking. I said, can you please check the wetland? Like where the silts went, and he said, because I had some people cleaning it, okay, by hand, by like 5-gallon barrel. And then he said, okay. I said, I pay you. This have nothing to do with anything. He said, no, you know, I remember he drive BMW. He loved it, just bought it. Anyway, so he go and start looking, and he said, I'll meet with you on that site on this day. So I went, he came with a shovel. And he start where you can see the water was before, and he say, here there is 2 inches. Here there is 1 inch. Here, and he mark it. Then I hired, this was in August, I hired David Braza. Okay, they recommended him to me that he have manpower. He charged me like $50 an hour, about 6, 7 guys. They came for like 3 days, and they cleaned everything, and he said,
They clean the area that he told you to clean?
Yeah.
They clean that?
Yeah, and right now, I can tell you, if you think, I went down there yesterday, and I spent probably like 1 hour, and I took a few video. You can see all the wetland down, like way down. It's all the vegetation coming out, start to come out like this. Last year I looked, and every storm happened, I go and check, everything is fine, you know? You can go and tell me, no, it's not fine.
Are the catch basins operating now?
No,
No.
they were never operating, but the water doesn't go anywhere anymore because there is about this high. When you go down all the way the road, they shore it like this, okay, all around the cul-de-sac, and nothing goes in there anymore, you know?
So what was happening when I went there, it was the middle of the winter, actually, and everything was
But
just...
it was warm and the snow was melting.
Well, when I went there the first time, it was all snow.
Yeah.
And it was just all sheet flow, so everything was coming down the road. It was just flying down the road. It was coming from the adjacent property too, because there was a gully between.
Look, I wanna tell you about this problem. This has caused a lot of problem for me, and I don't like to go and tell like this guy did this. But the soccer field, if you go to the parking lot, it's pitched to my property.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was asphalt, crushed asphalt.
Yeah.
They went without any catch basin, and they did the asphalt. So now the water comes into.
Yes, that's
Now
that's
it's-
on
To
our-
my land.
That's on our
Now it
list.
And you know, I dealt with it. I made a small channel to go all the way down, and I did put mesh, and this right here, I spent over 100,000. I stopped counting. And if you go right now and you tell me, oh, there is a problem here, I'll fix it.
Okay.
I mean, money can fix problems.
So what was happening was it was sheet flow from pretty much everywhere, and it wasn't getting into the catch basin, and that's what made the silt go out into the wetland that he said
Okay.
that they made them clean, you know, that they identified the silt, and then they cleaned it out that way, and you brought in all the riprap. I saw the riprap after
We
to
have,
filter,
from
so the
Gimbo.
material didn't keep going.
Okay,
out,
I want to get some dates here. You mentioned you hired David Brassa and a crew of
Braza
8.
to clean,
And what year and month was that?
the 2021, but toward the end, like August maybe. I couldn't find the check I written him, but I know I hired him.
Okay. And is he a town employee or is he a private?
No, he's a private contractor.
Okay.
He's yeah.
So did the wetlands, did Deshang come back out after it was cleaned?
You know, they've been there coming and checking things out, but the Blue Water's paying.
Oh,
didn't
okay.
they?
Well, maybe we could get a report.
But,
you know.
but I asked him, and I told, he was there after that, but not to check. And I told him, this is what we did, and he said, great, you know?
So maybe we could get a report as far as the
You can
condition
get
of
a
it.
report, or you can go anytime, okay, because I honestly.
I'd rather have
I don't wanna
we'd
be-
rather have a report saying that, you know, the silt was cleaned up.
If you have an independent guy, you can go look, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right, here's.
You wanna ask him? I really don't know the name.
Yeah.
Here's my next question. You said that you observed water from the soccer field parcel, a whole lot of sheet water running off the soccer field directly onto your land.
And from.
When did that happen? What year and month?
This been happened since they built that soccer field because.
Okay.
Because what happened, all the catch basin they put it about 6 feet from my property,
Okay,
before the parking lot.
okay.
And
so-
they have detention pond, sorry to.
Yeah.
They have detention pond, and the detention pond, when it leak, it goes into my property too.
Okay, so what you're saying is that now, my understanding is that the owners of the soccer field, they got a permit from the planning board to have a pervious parking lot that the water would flow through, and that they later went through and paved it over with asphalt. And you are now saying.
Few years later.
You are now saying that after they paved over the asphalt, you are having lots of runoff from that property come onto your property, which is overloading your ability to keep it out of the wetlands. So therefore, what I will do is send a letter to the planning board and the Board of Selectmen asking them to look into the situation as to whether the soccer field company exceeded their plan and whether they need to come up with a new plan to deal with their own stormwater runoff now that they've got a pervious pavement. So,
Okay.
so this will share the pain.
Anyway,
as-
the
as-
water that is coming into my property,
Yes,
I find a solution. It's adjacent to the wall between me and the solar field, okay? And we did like very professional job by putting mesh and circulate that water so it comes clean. So the water that it comes, because I have 3 detention ponds in that property. When I build the garage and another body shop and another car wash and, you know, and we made the detention pond and we manage the water there, okay? I don't even know if the street, not Whitman, if 140 have some
Drain?
okay,
you know, drainage, and it goes down there too. I have no idea.
okay.
I'm not very knowledgeable about this.
not
I do what you tell me to do, and I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's my next question. We have a complaint from an adjacent homeowner and they have retained an attorney to discuss the matter with us. And their claim is that they have photographic evidence that in December and since then, there is siltation in the creek in their property.
Sorry, wait, what? There is what?
There's dirt flowing into the creek on the west part of. 23
Nobody
feet.
went to that property since that I did this work. Nobody went except Blue Water. They want to see a well.
Right.
There was no nothing. Okay. If there is anything like this, I would like to see, because definitely it's not coming from my land.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you believe that if the neighbors have observed any silt in the creek in December and in the months since then, that is not coming from 23 Cape Road, it's coming from someplace else?
December? This
Yes.
December?
Yes,
Honestly, I don't know. Anything it's possible, but I did everything possible, okay, to stop it. And I went 2 days yesterday,
okay.
and I had video. If there is any in the creek, if there is any problem on their land, on their land, or where?
Well, that's the issue. We have a
Were
complaint.
they saying directly behind 23?
Yes, this is 14 Talbot, the homeowners of 14 Talbot.
On the other side of the creek.
Is anyone here from Talbot Road? Oh,
Well-
what number are you? Oh, okay.
Right, but I wanted to make sure that people in the committee had
Yeah.
finished asking their questions.
If when, long time ago, in 2021, there was silts going in there, which they only told me about 35 feet. If something went into then, could be, but you can go and look, all the grass, all the plantation, you don't see anything. And if there is, I have no idea how did it get there. I have no idea.
Okay, all right. Mike, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, we'll now open, I notice you're in the audience, and I believe you're one of your attorneys on the Zoom call. Do either of you have any questions that you wish to ask or comments you wish to make?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Karen Friedman, I represent Christine Buchhold and AJ Charbonneau. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm concerned about the actual clear cutting that seems to have taken place and the degree of trees that were cut down and the vegetation that was cleared. I sent photos to you, about 4 photos showing the difference between 2013 and 2021. And it looks like, I guess my question is the extent to which clear cutting took place in resource areas and the extent to which that clear cutting and earth removal has led to the situation where there's silt coming from 23 Cape Road onto my client's property.
Yeah, those are the photos. Okay. Abe, what year did you purchase the property from
I
the previous owner?
purchased the lumberyard, okay, I think in 2013. The other property across the street from Abe Roosevelt, which was a sand pit, okay, I think I purchased it after 2015.
He went in and clear cut that a long time.
Huh?
Didn't Rosenfeld clear cut that? That was cut when you owned it, wasn't it? When you bought it?
I'm
He was
sorry?
gonna do a
He was
condo
gonna do
project. There was a condo
2003.
project.
Yeah, and
That
there
was
was
approved.
some vegetation and small trees, okay? And he had a lot of pile of dirt, okay? And it's still a couple of piles. One is sand. He used to take sand from there. I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, and I did. There was some trees up on top near the street and in.
Okay. So the question is,
15 with trees.
can you show him that photo? The Google photo for 2015 shows that there's a lot of green in the aerial photograph. So the question is,
Want to come over and take a
whether
look?
whether this was actual trees or was this just weeds and other ground cover that grew in after Rosenthal clear cut?
There was no trees. Okay, there was no trees all around here. I took a little tree from here. I took a little trees to make a parking for.
Trees still here?
No, this here, but when I bought it, there was a lot of this. There wasn't there.
I know this
Okay.
whole area was stripped. I know.
Yeah. And when I built the car wash, we took this here and we made detention pond over here. Okay, and the body shop.
Is this where the car wash is now?
I don't know what this
Okay,
is.
hold
This is not, this is the school.
Hold on a sec.
Okay, so this is the school. This is where we put the car wash and this, like all adjacent to this area here. Okay? And over here, there wasn't any tree. There was like a few trees here and there.
Abe, could you hold on a sec? Karen, I'm not able to share the photographs. Are you able to, are you at a computer that you can share the
Can you look?
photographs on?
You see all these
Present them
piles?
on the meeting?
Yeah.
This is
I
what they
can
started.
try.
There's a button, I will stop sharing and then that.
Yeah,
should allow
no,
me to
I know
grab
it was cut prior to that because he stripped it and put the,
Because right now, Abe and Tim are just looking at a
Who paid
picture
that?
on the laptop, which isn't
I have
helpful
no
for the
idea.
rest
he
of
paid
us.
it.
He paid.
They
Right,
can
right,
have
right.
that.
This wasn't
I'm gonna
like that
pull up,
when I bought
I'm
it.
gonna pull up a new image.
Yeah. This whole area, Carl, was stripped
Yes.
for the longest time. He since has built a car wash here.
And a garage and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen.
And each time I
So
take,
do you have a recent
I
photo?
get a permit.
Yeah, zip out of that one and go to one of the more recent ones, 2019. And the 2019 one is not green anymore.
Not at all. Couple of bushes.
So the question is between
Yeah, is this a winter?
Yeah,
photo?
because I built
Are those
the
trees?
garage and the car
This
wash.
is a winter photo.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
trees. so,
Yes, yeah.
And the question is, between 2015 and 2019, did you do substantial dirt removal and clear cutting?
I didn't remove anything.
Okay.
All the dirt is still there. I use it to straighten the parking. I was gonna rent to Amazon then I disagree with them. If you look in that picture, the first one you show me, okay, you can see pile of dirt, like big pile.
Well, now we have nothing.
Mm.
As we know, it's been done.
Okay. Karen, do you have any follow-up questions?
I think you need to get to the bottom of how much, you may need to go out there and see what has been cut. Because if,
I cannot cut a tree
Well,
on my
when-
property.
When we,
now it's in wetlands.
when we have done a sidewalk, there is no tree on the property. There's a lot of scrub and weeds that have filled in after the loam was removed. And
Right.
the loam
But when
was,
I'm sorry.
my understanding is that Abe Rosenfield, the previous owner, removed all of the loam prior to 2013. And so the Google photograph from 2015 that we're seeing, it's not trees. It is scrub and vegetation and weeds that grew in during the summer. That's the representation that we're hearing from people who visited the site back 8 years ago.
So
Mike Amandalia is now visiting us in person. Do you have any questions at this point?
what's that?
Do you have any questions on the matter?
No, not. So,
Okay.
do you have an order of conditions currently on, is there an order of conditions on the property now?
Like what?
Is there a filing for DEP for anything within the buffer zone that you're doing there now? What are you doing there right now?
Nothing. I haven't done anything at all since 2021.
So Blue Water is proposing an order of conditions
Yes.
now for
They
the
were
development part.
supposed to be on the meeting today, and I think
been continued.
They continue.
was canceled.
Right, right.
And they're talking about noise and pollution, and so they want to
Yes.
answer all the questions.
So I think, why don't, during, when we have the hearing back, why don't we have a discussion about evaluating any silt that has made it onto either beyond his property and onto the neighbor's property to see if there's, if they can evaluate it and see.
I have a video, if you'd like to look at it, of the stream going that way, this way, on my land, further down. I didn't see anything, and I'm not an expert.
It would be helpful if you could mail that to Concom, our mailing list, and then I could share it with the property owners and the lawyer with your permission.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go make better one and go and send it to you guys.
There's nothing in the EEA portal.
Right.
Just Blue Water.
So here is what I would ask, Abe, both you and the people at 14 Talbot to do. The next time there's a rainstorm, if both of you could go down and look and see whether silt from 23 Cape Road is flowing into the stream. If it's not, if you could then tell us, is it getting there from the solar field, or is it getting there from some other place?
I have no problem.
The other thing
I would like, if anybody, before even the storm or during the storm, if one of you guys can come and see that firsthand, what's going on.
Right.
Because I don't see anything, and like I said, I'm not an expert, and if there is any situation need to be rectified or fixed, I fix it.
The other thing
I have no problem.
the other thing I would want to look out for is if there is another heavy rainstorm, if you could get videos of water going from the soccer field parcel onto your property, and that would be evidence for the planning board and the Board of Selectmen that their stormwater plan is no longer working.
I'm going to take a video from there when it's raining very heavy.
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm gonna follow the water going downstream, okay, where it's going all the way down to where it's not going anywhere, right?
Yes.
Okay,
All right, so people from 14 Talbot, are there other pieces of information that you think we should be gathering at this time?
I have a question as to why Mr. Drej was told to hydroseed the area.
The chairman of the board,
Yes.
he told me to hydroseed because this way the grass grow and stop any water going.
Right.
And we raise the ground on the cul-de-sac because the ground on the cul-de-sac, there was a couple of areas low, okay? And if you raise it.
Right,
then
that's
it
what,
will
that's how
stop.
it was getting in.
Huh?
That's how it was getting in the wetland.
And then when it rain, okay, the weed will absorb. Why? I don't know. I think this is for the chairman to answer, honestly.
When the area.
Having ground cover helps stop erosion.
Yes.
The area.
That's why he asked you to
Stabilize
get
it.
some growth going on to help stabilize the
You know, and I
topsoil.
think it's the solution was good because I go, like I said, and I honestly don't see any problem. If there is a previous, I want to bring your attention to something. When in 2003 or maybe earlier, because twice they tried to rebuild that land. Okay, there is a silt fence sit about 30, 40 feet in where it's wetland now. But you can't
the
see
buffer
this
area.
much from it.
Yeah.
So if this is a previous one, I'm sure 30 years ago, 20 years ago, silts went and stopped at that fence. So I don't know if this is relevant. I can take you and show you. Okay, so obviously at that time, the silts fence, whoever put it 30 years ago, 25 years ago, they went further inside, like where it's supposed to
Within
be
50
wetland now.
Within 50 feet, yeah. When you did the hydro seeding in 2021, was it effective? Is the area that was hydro seeded, does it now have grass and vegetation?
Oh, yeah, it's like the grass is this high.
Okay.
And it's dead now, but you can see it's like thick, like a cushion.
Okay.
She was walking in it a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
At
but
the end, did they call us that?
yes, but it was pretty bare, except for a couple patches of scrub.
Right, so if you were observing only a couple patches of scrub, it may need to have some more work.
There was a
in that
little bit of
area,
grass down by the.
which is going to be hard since there's no loam there anymore.
I uploaded pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hydroseeded, I remember, in July.
Yep.
And then we bring a truck to water the grass so it grow. And then the hose was too big. I guess sometime you can see like there is this area like a lot of grass. This area is bare. Then I went by hand and I threw some seed, and it looked pretty good because it's about 1,000 feet long and by like 150 feet wide.
Okay. I think we've reached the limit of what we can talk about at this meeting unless you have another point to raise.
Well, I'd just like to clarify that you are saying that no earth removal from that area at the end of the cul-de-sac took place while you owned the property, Mr. Drej?
Yeah. No.
The only earth
No.
removal that has described happened in August of 2021 when David Braza and a crew of 8 went in and removed silt that had flowed into the buffer area, and they were remediating. And I believe you've said you haven't done any work on the parcel other than that, in terms of general construction.
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, I will be sending a letter to the planning board and the select board asking them to look into the situation with the soccer field and the sheet runoff. Now that we have testimony that the property owner at 23 Cape has noticed water flowing off from there onto his property during stormwater events. And we may end up that would probably be more of a planning board activity than a conservation commission because it's upstream in both senses of the word. Any other questions or issues before we close this discussion? Okay, I'd like to thank you for coming before.
We have one in the
Wait,
audience.
Yeah, just to clarify, so the aerial photos that we submitted, when you look at those, I mean, are you saying that from maybe 2013, 15, whatever, to 2021, that always looked that way? Because they look drastically different when you look at it.
Yeah, that's right. What you're
But-
saying is true.
So what's?
You're looking at
what were
140.
in the earlier images that made it look like there was.
At 140, okay, I built about 8 acres of land where I put a car wash and body shop and a garage, and there was trees and we removed them, okay? This is part of building. You can't build over trees. And at Grego, they rent a big parcel. We cleared the back of the building and further another lot down below. And there was scattered trees, okay? I removed these trees, okay, on the property, which is most of them, they were small, okay? And there was dome of dirt. I flattened it, okay, to make a parking lot. You saw the parking lot. That's what I did.
okay.
This is their,
I'm sorry, I didn't know this is a public meeting, so I come very unprepared.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
What I've gathered from his timeline is that Abe Rosenfeld, prior to his purchasing, Abe Rosenfeld owned the property and prior to 2014, went in and clear cut whatever lumber was there and removed the loam. So after 2013, any vegetation that would be growing there would not be trees, it would be scrub, weeds, whatever could manage to grow on that thin soil. And his claim is that what we see in the Google photograph of 2013 is not heavy vegetative cover, but instead whatever grew up after the clear cutting. Does that help clarify things?
yes, I understand what was said.
What he's saying. Okay, that's my interpretation of what he spoke with us about.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
If I have a piece of land and there is like 3 trees in the center here and I remove them, is this wrong? I mean, I am a farmer. I want to know.
The problem is not that the trees got removed. The problem is that after the trees got removed, the hydrology of the site changed so that when there's a big stormwater event, everything flowed
Right.
down into the wetlands.
You know, that place,
Is the trees that were removed in the wetland,
no.
then he can cut as many trees
Yes.
down as he wants on his property as long as it's not in a wetland.
Yep.
No, it's
Or-
not.
It doesn't affect, as long as it doesn't affect it, yeah.
Okay, and then, no, I just asked question because I have a house, there is a couple of trees I want to
Right.
cut, so I
Well,
want.
here,
So,
here,
and also, the trees, you can look at that photo, you have to remember, at that time, the soccer field wasn't there.
yes,
So you remove a lot of trees here, and then the place
solar-
for
the solar farm.
solar, you remove all these trees, then I build probably like what equal to 9-10 acres between Agrego and this side, and then, you flatten the land to create 4 acres, like a parking, flat land. Of course, it's gonna look different. I'm not denying the fact that we did work. The problem started with silts going over there because erosion, because.
So we're trying to determine where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
And what I did, the minute I knew, I asked people in town and, the conservation and people I know that do this type of work. And I acted honestly as quick as I can. And I want to do the right thing. Tomorrow you go there, you tell me, you see this is no good, I'll fix it. I think by blood, I'm a farmer. I know exactly how the ecosystem work, okay? I just came back from picking up olives this Christmas, and thanks God, it was very good. I know how the ecosystem work, and last thing I want to do, because Mother Nature will punish you back. Okay, if you think, guys, anything, you're welcome to all go and tell me, hey, this is not good. Money can solve problem is the best thing. I have money. If this is a problem, I'll fix it. And if I don't have, I borrow it. I don't have a problem. But I want positive energy. If there is a guy you want to build a building and they don't like the way the building is, then you start going nitpicking and trying to just say no. You can't do that. And if I can't do it, then I should do what I want to do, because this is industrial commercial land. They used to use it to pick up sand from that area. They used to use it for God knows what, okay? And now I'm trying to look, I understand traffic. The town, okay, have from Oxbridge to Milford to Hopedale to Millville to Blackstone, going through this town to 495. You want to stay here, or you want to just go along with the traffic? We're trying to get the part of that light.
We don't need to talk
Okay.
about traffic.
What I'm trying to say,
That's the planning
okay,
board.
I thought I'm doing good thing, because this land is going to be built.
Yes.
This building or 12 building, this is what I invested the money and the future in it. And I think by right, if there is a problem, I can fix it, okay? But I can't keep coming, okay, and asking a question to please every person, okay? Because this is not how it's done, I think. This is un-American.
Okay.
I want to feel the right to do what I want to do. And if I did anything wrong, punish me,
Okay. So the next steps that I'm asking to do is I will refer to the select board and the planning board about the runoff onto your property. And I would ask that the next time there is a storm event, that all parties concerned take careful note. And then at that time, we can determine where the silt is getting into the creek and from which properties and from where is there an excessive amount of stormwater flowing. Once we make that determination, at that point, we can bring together the different parties and decide what remediation is needed.
Okay, can I add one more thing? I went down where the pipe is going underground.
Yep, the one
So
that's there now.
because somebody was saying last meeting, maybe, and the pipe is going. And I took some heavy cloth and I put it around the pipe before it rained 2 days. I went, there was nothing coming from there. So if before, when, I don't know, something went through this pipe when the drainage were open 5 years ago, 6, 10, 12 years ago, I don't know, and went into the creek. I'm trying to say, I try.
We understand.
I'm trying to say, I try to find out if you guys go and tell me that, yes, this is silt, okay?
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself.
I believe that when Blue Water made a presentation back on February 6th, they said that the pipe was not functioning. I'd have to check the video for that, but I believe, so that matches your observation 2 days ago.
Yes.
All right, any other questions or comments? Thank you for coming, and we'll see.
Thank you,
when we need
guys.
to have
Sorry
you
for
again.
too much of your time. Thanks.
Yep.
Good night.
All right, we have people in the audience. Are you here for a particular action?
On 88 Providence Street.
To Nipmuc, is it, I think it's on the agenda?
Yeah, okay, yes. I called about, if you'd been here at 7:10, we could have gotten you in and out, but I need to have people from 2 Nipmuc up now because they're on the timetable. So sorry to keep you this long. You can come on forward.
Hello?
So is one of you Bento? And your name is?
Michael Dean from DNL Design Group.
All right. I'm at a handicap because when you came before the committee in December, I was flat on my back with COVID. So I'm going to have to participate less in this conversation and have to rely on people on the board who are at that meeting. The question that came up at our meeting 2 weeks ago was whether the siltation barrier had been put in place at the location that was agreed to back in December. And my understanding is that there were some dead trees on the property and you wanted to wait until those had been taken down before completing the work on the siltation fence. So that's my background for why we wanted to have a discussion with you this evening. So if you could make a presentation.
Can I ask who made the allegation? Was it a formal allegation?
There was an anonymous complaint, a voicemail saying that there had been clear cutting taken place. Peter went out and observed that the siltation barrier was not where he believed it should have been. Fortunately, Peter's not here to take that.
Did you receive a letter from?
Yeah, so
Yes,
Benny
we sent
had,
that later.
yeah, so Benny has passed the notice of violation hearing.
Right.
That's referenced here, and it references the erosion control, supposed to be further up the slope, which it was not, and that there were some trees cleared. And then, as you had mentioned, you know, that there were several that are essentially dead because of the ledge and things of that nature. So since this letter, I went back out there, flagged where that erosion control is supposed to be,
Okay.
up the slope, and Benny has since then started to install that, or has installed it today. You installed it today? Yeah, because I flagged it yesterday.
Is there work going on the,
No.
what's going on
They
there?
cut the tree, all they did was clear the lot.
Let's back up to the beginning. What's happening there at
A single-family house.
is going to be built?
Yep. So they came in front of us
Yeah.
for an order of conditions.
Yeah.
I was at the meeting. So they had the silt fence on the plan, 2 rows of silt. Was one at the 25 foot and one at the 50 foot, or?
Originally, it was at the 25 foot. The
Okay.
original submittal was at the 25 foot.
Okay.
Peter Lavoy from our company, DNL, was here for the original presentation. He presented to the commission. There was some feedback and comments and concerns. And then we revised the plan, pulling that further away from the 25 foot no disturb zone, and modified the plan. Then I had come back and presented that, and through that presentation, it was closed, the public hearing was closed to issue an order of conditions with one question or one comment came to add riprap to the driveway. So we added the riprap to the driveway, resubmitted that plan, but the erosion control was moved further away from the pond, which then puts it a little ways up the slope. And we've done that. We've installed that now.
So the siltation protection is basically where it should be now.
Correct. Yes.
And it wasn't before.
Right. And there's.
So he.
Before you stripped everything, right? Before.
Yeah,
and-
but there's no
nothing.
excavation or activity that's taken place. So there's
That
absolutely.
was my next
Yeah,
question.
yeah, there's zero erosion.
The siltation is in place now.
Yes.
As of this morning. or this
Okay.
afternoon. The
So,
other.
did anybody here go out and verify it?
Not today.
Yeah,
It's
that
kind of
just
dark right
happened
now.
today.
The other question I would have is, I noticed on the documentation that there was a condition when you cut the trees down to not disturb the roots, to leave them in there. Was that done correctly? Or
To not what?
to leave the tree roots intact
Oh.
and not
Not pull a stump, you see.
pull them?
Not yet, we didn't start it.
Right.
They didn't
Okay.
stump it, yeah.
Is that gonna be lawn or?
Well, this would be the part within the buffer area.
So.
Oh, yeah, sure. They'll leave that. They don't have to pull that. Yeah, exactly. I was not understanding 100% what, yeah.
That's why I said, is that part of the lawn?
No, that was to remain non-lawn. That was one of the concerns.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so your position is that now the order of conditions has been met and there is no need, there is not a violation at present, that you have met the terms of the OOC. Okay.
Correct.
What I would ask is that people go out and do a site walk who are familiar with what the order of conditions was said verbally and in writing, and then examine that, and then come back and report on it in the next meeting in 2 weeks.
So the silt fence is installed at the 50 foot?
Yeah.
It was even a
Or-
little
or
further,
flagged.
it was even a
Oh,
little
okay.
further away. I have the
Okay.
plan if we want to go over, but it was even a little further away from the 50.
Yeah, I just want to get, so when
Yeah.
I go out there, yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
yep. When you first go into the site where the driveway is, it was right at the 25 feet.
Okay.
And then as you get a little further into the 25 feet, it then, turns right up the slope.
Okay.
And then it runs back towards the existing house, and you'll see an old staircase that was part of that whole,
When are you looking to start excavating and?
We don't know yet.
but sooner
I
rather
guess
than
what I'm
later.
getting at,
Maybe soon, yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at is, I don't believe if the silt fence is moved where it's supposed to be, let's go down and check it out so we don't hold them up.
So the flags are there where you marked where the silt fence has to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they pull them down, but
No, they still. the
yeah,
posts still there.
yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, so we'll go and inspect the silt fence.
Yep.
So what was he talking about, the roots of the trees? Not, you can't pull any roots inside that
In the
area?
lower portion.
Okay.
On the lower portion beyond the silt fence between the pond.
Kind of little area around the
Yeah, I
pond?
mean, it's all been previously disturbed for the
Right,
most
right,
part at that
right.
lower level from that, the entertainment.
Yeah, I just
you
didn't know
know,
what you were talking about. Yeah.
So at
yeah,
least
yeah.
when I was a
I
kid,
know.
I kind of remember,
I know what
and,
you're talking about now.
Yeah, that whole area's been there's there's concrete down there still remaining, and
Right.
so there's a flat area
Up
that,
to those stairs, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
So as you go towards those stairs, it's a flat area from the previously
Right.
disturbed area, and then the erosion control goes up the hill slightly, and in that area, you can't rub it.
And that was the concern, because the previous owner had cleared that area,
Yeah.
and what DEP came back with a ruling saying, hey, you know what, stop taking the underbrush on the edge of the water, because it creates a shading area and it promotes,
Fisheries.
Yeah, fisheries, and so that's why, that's why we didn't want anything close to the water.
Yep.
So,
No, I-
Yep.
And after Benny gets in there and starts shaping it, if he it's a pretty challenging lot, right? So,
I'm
I
sure.
mean, I think we all know that.
Yeah,
so-
you're
so
building on
as-
top of the hill. It's
Yeah, so if Benny goes in there,
Off of 16,
right up near Alicante.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
so as Benny gets in there and starts shaping the earth, I wouldn't be surprised that we might be back adjusting some things formally or informally, or certainly to come back and discuss with the commission.
Yep.
If he's gonna move the house or,
Just look, just be careful when you end up, you do go in there, that silt fence that you put up, have some extra stuff available to set up in case, in case something gets, disturbed, and open up, so it's not left open up overnight, and then we get a rainstorm, and then you have a problem, so.
Okay, thank you for coming in and having this conversation with us.
Do we want
thank you.
do we want to let him know once we look at it? Like
Yeah.
if,
Let me know if it's okay to go.
Yeah, so.
I can meet you there too as well.
Well, I think,
Whatever.
you know what, we kind of like, as
I
we're going
understand,
by
yeah,
and stuff, because we're in town,
Yeah.
we'll stop and, one of us will stop and take a look at it, and if you, do you have a card you can
Yep,
leave?
yep,
We'll just let you know after we inspect the silt fence that it's all set to
that'd be
go.
good, yep.
Right?
yeah, I'm going to try to take a ride by there tomorrow morning.
And if you can send an email to the concom@mendonma.gov, that'll give me your contact and I can reply to it and say what action we would be taking at our next meeting. All right. Any
And then-
other discussion? Thank you for coming.
And then also I have the orders of conditions, if you're gonna sign those for Blackstone Street. You had asked me to
Oh,
bring
good.
copies.
Yes, because.
I printed two of the same ones, whoops.
Or whatever works, but I have three sets here.
We need them.
Oh, that's great.
We need to sign a set for you to take
Yes.
with a wet ink on it, and then we need a copy for our records.
So
I
there's
don't know.
three,
You're supposed to
70,
take
3,
care
and
of that.
7.
We can do these now, right?
Well,
Cal?
Let's,
Yeah, that would be great.
let's get these signed now, if you can find the signature pages. The second to last thing would be James O'Connell coming
How we
in.
doing?
Good.
You want to come on up?
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm dumping on you the process of the back end of the paperwork. I'm doing all of the upfront planning for the meetings. Okay, let me get a signature. you've gotten to see the kind of stuff we end up
Yes.
conversations and I'm glad that you're coming here ahead of time. I corresponded with you 2.5 weeks ago.
Right.
You are going to be doing some tree cutting, and the American Tree Service company that you're working with said you're within the wetlands.
Yes.
So.
Do have some pictures, so
Yep,
it's a
those
small
will be-
stream that runs along my property line, and I can show you.
What's the address of this property?
This is 88 Providence Street.
88 Providence. Street.
75 Blackstone Street.
No, no, no.
Oh, 88
88.
Providence, yeah.
What is
I
it?
don't know.
88 Providence.
It's too private.
Okay, so I got one each. I'm good. I'll take these and we'll get them recorded and everything. I appreciate it. And then you guys have 2 extra copies.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
Yeah. Or I can make copies. and-
Yeah, he took them.
And the tree company said I need a permit to
Yes.
do it.
So what's the problem?
It's not a problem. It's just a question of what is the paperwork that we generate and give to him?
Negative determination
Is that the what it's
of
phrased?
applicability, yeah.
Okay, so.
We can make a
How many
motion.
trees are you looking to cut down?
2.
I don't even know what that is, but.
It's a RDA.
I mean, I've never done.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't done one yet.
I can't do it myself.
And
Where's my number?
We can make a,
I'm just saying
we
I
can
haven't
take a
done
vote.
one yet. that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
we can take a vote.
All right,
I know what it is.
all right. So as part of the discussion for it, the general
just for the
rule that
office
we
copy
have
anyway.
is you're allowed to cut the trees in the wetland buffer area, but we want to make sure that they don't go in there with the huge power machinery and leave deep ruts and tear up the ground a lot.
Yeah, as you can see, it's right beside my driveway, so they won't be driving in any wetlands.
Okay. And
So why is he here looking?
Because it's,
negative.
Is it within the buffer zone?
Yes, it's within like 10 feet of a creek.
that's office copies.
So these I will take home and shred. You should take these and file them with the rest of the paperwork.
88 Providence Road, get down here.
Yep.
But I'll put it in.
Right at the new intersection, well, not new now, but 2 houses down on the left. Used to be.
I live on George Street, so how far past George Street?
75.
Come down to the intersection with Providence Street, and it used to go straight, and now it, the road turns.
Yeah,
Keep going straight at that, where it used to be curved.
okay.
What is it, a Clough House?
You're talking the intersection that years ago used to have a huge boulder on the slope, and they put a
I'm 2
light
houses
in
down
there.
on the left. Across from what used to be PT Lumber and whatnot,
Yes.
is no longer PT Lumber.
No, right.
Oh, okay, all right. Now I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
new construction as of 5 years ago, maybe.
The ranch? Is it a ranch house?
My house now.
No, are you across the street from it?
Yes.
Yeah. You can sign this.
I'm a relative newcomer. I've only lived in town for 8 years.
Yeah.
And who's the tree cutter you're using?
American Climbers?
Climbers, okay.
Yes, American Climbers.
All right.
They had sent out flyers, so.
Yeah.
All right. If there's no other discussion, entertain a motion to have a
So moved,
what is it, negative determination?
Yeah.
Okay.
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Third.
All in
That was-
favor?
Aye.
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 Passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. Sorry for keeping you all night.
All right, do I just tell them?
Well,
Tell them you got the okay from the Concom.
Yeah, I'll fill out the paperwork over the weekend.
All right.
And I will keep beating her up until she gets you the right piece of paper.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Those pesky jobs. get
Good
me
luck with
through.
Again, we apologize for making you sit through this all night. But
I have a
Yeah, I
Been here
called,
before.
I called for you at 7:10 because we could have squeezed you in for 5
Oh.
minutes before the public hearings, but once they started, I have to go through them in order.
Yeah, it seemed
because they're timed.
I was scheduled for 7:45, so
Yeah.
didn't come earlier.
Have a good night.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck with it.
So we got it
Are you
straight.
taking these home to shred or to? this
No, I'm
recycle
taking
bin over-
these home to shred. You deal with those.
I'm gonna put them in the recycle bin.
Okay.
What are these photos from?
Those are the trees that he's going to take. So just,
Oh,
I make a motion to,
no. I got one more order of business. We cannot discuss Concom finances because Peter isn't here to discuss it. The other one is correspondence. We have an email from Mass DEP. There is a new handbook for delineation of bordering vegetated wetlands.
I already saw it.
That I'm going to go and read because
I already have it.
I'll learn more useful information. So I wanted to pass that along to people as well so that
I
they could see
printed
what the
if I
new
could.
rules are.
how many pages? Well, what is it, a handout?
I don't know. Yeah. I guess.
So that's the only other thing in the mailbox that is not related to the stuff we've already talked about. So having said that, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, Tim,
Can somebody show me where to file things? Or do I have to come back when during the day?
They're over, are they across the street? All the files are across the street,
I
right?
expect so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're
I don't have a
done.
key. I don't have a
All
key
right.
to get in there.
Thank you
I have a
people on
key
the
to
call
this
for
place,
coming to
but-
the meeting, and I hope we're less chaotic next week.
Same.